till question number 3 of the exercise. Now we're going to do question number 4. So in this we come across something that is called histogram. Abdul Jabbar, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So histogram. A histogram is something that is it looks similar to a bar graph, but uh, see the difference between histogram and bar graph is that in a histogram, you have, like in a bar graph, what did you have? This, all of the, all of these were of the same thickness, right? But in histogram, it's not like that. In histogram, the thickness can be different. And then in histogram, what happened? Okay. The thickness can be different. It can be same also, and it can be different also. And so we will just go through the questions. As and when we are doing the questions, you will understand the difference between a bar graph and a histogram. Okay. So let's do the question exercise. Acha, see, when we do histogram, so till now the bar graph what we did, it was majorly in the x-axis we didn't have numbers, right? In the x-axis. X-axis is the horizontal one. This is the x-axis. So in the x-axis, we didn't have numbers. We had something else like causes. Then the second question, we had some sections of the society. Then in the third question, we had names of political parties. But in histogram, the x-axis will always have numbers. Okay. So the third, oh no, fourth question. So I hope you all have the textbook. If you don't, please let me know. So the length of 40 leaves of a plant are measured. So there is one plant and you are taking out its leaves and you're measuring the lengths of the leaves. They are measured and the obtained data is represented in the following table. So you can see that in one column you have length in millimeters and in the other column you have number of leaves. So for example, let's say uh, 3 leaves have their length between 118 and 126. Okay. Now see, there are two types of data that is given to us. Okay. Data that is given to us will be of two types in the sense that this length wala column that is given and this is the frequency wala column that is given. There is one thing called continuous class interval and discontinuous class interval. What is class interval? So this thing that is given, that 118 to 126 millimeters. Yeah. So what does it mean? That if you have, let's say you have a lot of leaves and there are 3 leaves, let's say one leaf's length is 119 millimeters, one leaf is 125 millimeters, one leaf is 122 millimeters. So all of these, they lie between this range. Okay. If you have 126 millimeters also, that is also going to lie in this range because the next one is 127 to 135. 127 to 135. So what is happening here is this is called a class interval. Okay. All of these, the next one is 136 to 144. These are all called class intervals. So if the class interval is continuous, like for example, if you take a look at the fifth question, it is 300 to 400, 400 to 500, 500 to 600, and so on. So this is a particular class interval, right? This is called the upper limit and this is called the lower limit. So upper limit minus lower limit is called the range. So the range in each of them is the same. It is 100, 100, 100. The range is the same. And what about this over here? Over here, the range is, it's not the same, right? You can see what is 126 minus 118? It is 8. The range over here is 8. Over here, the range is, okay, no, it is the same. It is the same in all of them. Over here also, it is the same. Okay. So in this, the range is the same. In both of these questions, the range is the same. Okay, range is what? Upper limit minus lower limit. So over here it is 400 minus 300 in the fifth question. So it is 100. And over here in the fourth question, it is 8. So now let's come to another concept, which is discontinuous class interval. So you see that over here in the fifth question, 400, the upper limit of the first range is the same as the lower limit of the second range. This one is ending at 400. The other one is starting at 400, right? So this is called continuous class interval. Whereas in your fourth question, it is discontinuous class interval. In the fourth question, it is discontinuous class interval. So for discontinuous class interval, we have to first make the class intervals continuous. So let me just write the data which is given. It's given like this: length in millimeter, and then the number of leaves. So 118 to 126, 127 to 135, 136 to 144, 145 to 153, 154 to 162, 163 to 171, 172 to 180. So now what we
Again,
are
these
going
are
to
all
do,
given in the question.
yes, these are given in the question, right? It's there in the question, right? So what we need to do now is we need to make it continuous, meaning you need to make this 126.5, you need to add 0.5 in the upper limit and subtract 0.5 in the lower limit. Why only 0.5? Why not something else? Because the difference between the upper limit and the lower limit, that this difference, this is 126 and over here it is 127. So the difference is 1, right? The difference between 126 and 127 is that of 1. So we have to take half of that difference. Let's say, for example, if it was over here 125 and 127, let's say, for example, then what is the difference between 125 and 127? How much difference is there? What is the gap?
2.
2 units. So then you will make this, you will add plus 1 to this.
Ma'am,
Why? Because the, 1 second, Abdul Rahman, because two units is the difference, right? So you need to take half of that, which is half of 2 is 1. So you need to add 1 to this and subtract 1 from this. So then it will become 126 and this will also become 126. So now it becomes continuous. But over here, we were given that the interval is 126 and here it is 127. So 126 and 127 have a difference of 1. And what is the half of 1? It is zero 0.5. So we will add 0.5 to each upper limit. Each of these upper limits, you have to add 0.5. And each of these lower
ma'am,
limits, you have to subtract 0.5. Yes, Abdul Rahman.
I thought tuition happened that Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday.
Abdul Rahman, were you present in the previous class?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this change in timings is for the time being, okay? Because the other teacher who was teaching you in between, she is on some medical emergency. So there are some issues because of that. And I also am not able to take classes on weekdays. So we have to take it on weekend as of now. This is not permanent change. It will go back to your normal timings. But for
So what
now,
is the timing then?
see, I'm telling you, for now, the timing is this itself. Okay. Next week also, you have to come on Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday. Okay, got it.
This week and next week.
Oh, okay.
So point 0.5, just add point 0.5 in each of these. The upper limits, just keep adding a point 0.5. And in the lower limits, just subtract point 0.5 from everything, even the first one. So then it will become continuous. Are you understanding this, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now the frequency remains the same. The frequency remains the same. 3, 5, 9, 12, 5, 4, 2. Okay, why does the frequency remain the same? Because, see, initially what we were saying was between 118 millimeters and 126 millimeters, we have 3 leaves. So now also it's not going to change, na? Because you just increased the class size, the size of the class interval, meaning the range, you just increased it a little bit. How did you do that? So over here, the range was 8 and here it became 9. Here, the new range is 9. Why is it 9? Because you added point 0.5 from here also and from here also. So basically, you're adding 1 in the range. So the class size has increased. So it's not going to change your frequency or the data. It's not going to change that. So now also between 118, if you look at this table, between 100 and between 117.5 and 126.5, you have 3. So we are not harming our data. We are not manipulating our data. We're not changing the data. Okay. So this is question number, what is it? 4. Okay. So now we have made it continuous. Now we start making our graph. Okay. So let's make our graph. Acha, and one more thing, in histogram, our graph, it should always be continuous. Our data, our class interval should always be continuous. Okay. So that is why the histogram, so you see when we had bar graph, it was separate bars. The bars were not sticking to each other. They were all separate. But in case of histogram, these bars are going to be close to each other. So let's start writing the what we had in our left column, 117.5. So let's start from here. 117 point. Leave some space, okay? Leave some space over here. I will tell you why. 117.5. Then 126.5. Or if you want, you can write it slanting. 135.5. Then 144.5. Then the next one is 153.5. 162.5. I hope you are all also writing it simultaneously.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
did you properly inform to everybody?
everybody means.
Every I mean, every student who usually comes to the class, to the online class.
See, it is not my job to inform them. I think the team would have already informed, but I will cross check with them once more if they have informed or not. Okay,
Yeah,
but I
because I
believe.
don't, I
Uh,
don't think most people are aware of this sudden change.
See, the link is being sent to you guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that shows that the class is on this and this time. That the timing is written in the link, na?
Yeah, but this like right now I was in somewhere else and my I was separate to my phone, and the only way I found out about this class was when my father informed me that the class is happening. Mm.
Okay. So anyway, I will check with the team whether they have informed you guys or not. But I think they have informed. Abdul Jabbar, what do you say? Did you receive any information?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
At first, I thought that I was sent mis the meeting mistakenly because maybe it's supposed to be go to another student, but I got it by accident.
Acha, okay. Abdul Jabbar, huh? Did you get the information about the class that the timing has been changed temporarily?
no, no,
Huh?
no.
No. Okay. Fine, then I will check it with the team and I'll let you know. Fine. So, all right. So we started from 117.5. So we can't just put a straight line like this. Okay. Why? Because each unit represents each unit represents 9 9 millimeters, right? This is the length is in millimeters. This shows length in millimeters. This is the x-axis, and the y-axis is your number of leaves. So you cannot just put it like this. So you have to make a ragged line which shows that okay, there must be some a lot of stuff in between, a lot of numbers in between. We are not showing all those numbers. We are just from 0 we are skipping directly to 117.5. This is what the ragged line means. So then for the number of leaves, we can write it like this. So this is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. We can do it like that. Or we can also just make it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is a little bit too much. You can take each unit as half half also. I think we should just take it as this one. Oops. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay. Now 117.5. So from between 117.5 to 126.5. From that range, you have how many leaves? 3. In this range, look at this table that you have just made. According to this table, In this range, you have 3. So remember, whenever there is a discrete, separate, the data is like one particular cause, one particular condition, there is some number, then some other condition, some other number, that you use bar graph. But whenever there is a range, you use a histogram. So there are 3 leaves, so 3 will be over here between 2 and 4, and it should, remember, it should be between 117.5 and 126.5, because that is our range. Then next is 5. Next is 9, 135.5 and 144.5. It is 9. 12, 5. The next one is 5. So we come all the way down to 5. Let me know if any of you is facing any difficulty in this, okay? You're not asking anything, so I'm assuming that you're
Not.
understanding. Huh, Abdul
Like,
Jabbar?
what is the need to add like 0.5?
I just explained over here, na? See, why are we adding 0.5? Because in the previous table that we had, in the question what was given, it was a discontinuous class interval. This was discontinuous. Discontinuous means it is not continuous. And what is continuous? Continuous is this 400. It is, the first one is ending at 400 and the second one is starting at 400. Okay, so that is what continuous means. But in this case, in our current question, it is not continuous. For histogram, we need to make it continuous. So to make it continuous, we have to add and subtract something from the previous one and to the next one, so that they can become continuous. So here this was 126, this was 127. We made it 126.5 and we subtracted 0.5 here. So this also became 126.5. Now it is continuous. So we have to do this to every single class interval. Okay,
Okay.
getting it?
Yes.
Okay. So the next one is 162.5 till 171.5. The frequency is 4. Next one, the frequency is 2. So this is what your graph is gonna look like. Your histogram is gonna look like. Okay. Done? Let me know once you're done. I'll be back in a minute. Just give me a minute. चल रही है. Done? Done? Abdul Jabbar? Done? Okay, so we'll move forward, all right? The next, acha, there's one part in this question which is asking, is it correct to conclude that the maximum number of leaves are 153 millimeters long? Is it correct to conclude that maximum number of leaves are 153 millimeters long? Yes? Yes or no? Say yes or no. See, the answer will be no, because the maximum number of leaves are not 153 centimeters long. We can see from the graph and from the data that is given in the table that maximum number of leaves are between 145 and 153 millimeters. So we cannot say for exactly for 153 millimeters because it is only a range that is given to us. Now the next question, the fifth one. The fifth question says the following table gives the lifetimes of 400 neon lamps. So there are 400 neon lamps and their lifetime is given. Like for example, there are 14 lamps whose lifespan is between 300 to 400 hours. That means they will last for 300 to 400 hours of being lit. Okay, when you switch them on. And 56 lamps are there such that they can last from 400 to 500 hours. Okay, so an exact measure is not given here, it is a range 400 to 500. So you have to represent the given information with the help of a histogram. So first we will check whether it is a continuous data or discontinuous data, and we can see that it is a continuous data, right? So we can just move ahead with plotting the histogram. So lifetime, you don't have to write this table in your notebook or in your answer sheet because it is already given in the question paper. You need to write it in case of discontinuous interval, which you have to make continuous. This one you have to write. But in case you don't have to do anything, change anything, then you don't have to write the table. 300 to 400 is 14 and so on. Okay. So I am just going to make the table here. Sorry, the graph here. On the x-axis, we will put the lifetime in hours. This is the x-axis. And on the y-axis, we will put the number of lamps. This is the y-axis. So 300, we have to start from 300. We will make a ragged line. This is 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. I'm just copying it down from the textbook. Nothing new I am doing, okay? 900 and 1000. So our data is given till 1000. So from 300 to 400, now we need to decide how to mark the data on the y-axis. The smallest number is 14, which is given in the frequency, which is number of lamps. It is 14. And the highest number is which is given is what? 86. So we can make it from 0. We can make it like 0, uh, 10. We can make it like this, okay? Because 14 and 86 is quite a big interval. So 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. Okay. So between 300 to 400 hours, you have 14 lamps. So it's going to be somewhere around here. Please start making this graph. Then from 400 to 500, we have 56. Then from 500 to 600, I'm going to make these lines later on. Or fine, I'll just make it now itself. 500 to 600, we have 60. Then from 600 to 700, we have 86. Then 700 to 874. Then 800 to 962. Nine hundred to 1048. So this is your histogram. Okay. So please quickly do this. And let's come to the second part of this question, which is how many lamps have a lifetime of more than 700 hours? Who will answer this question? More than 700 hours. How many lamps? Yes, you don't have to apply any formula in it. Yes, Abdul
74.
Jabbar.
74.
74. So
No,
let's
more than.
count it.
No, wait, ma'am, wait.
Hmm.
184.
184. How did you do that? You did 74 plus 62 plus
62 and
48.
14.
48. Because we're not seeing just from 700 to 800. We are seeing more than 700. So that means all of these will come under it. So basically from 700 to 1000. So when you calculate that, it is 184. So 184 lamps. Okay. The sixth and seventh question we will do in the next class when we start the new topic of frequency polygon. Right now, we will do histogram. So, eighth question. Come to the eighth question. A random survey of the number of children of various age groups playing in a park was found as follows. So, let's say maybe an NGO or some type of an organization, maybe they wanted to know, what age group of children come to play in the park. Because for whatever reason, maybe they want to uh, put up some stalls over there. So they want to know, okay, what kind of children are we dealing with over here? What age group of children are we dealing with? So the data is given 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10, 10 to 15, and 15 to 17. Now, can you see over here that the range is different? 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. The range is just 1. Yes. But 3 to 5 and 5 to 7, the range is 2. Look at your textbook. 7 to 10, the range is 3. 10 to 15, the range is 5. And 15 to 17, the range is again, it is 2. So why is it like this? Why is it so? Why did they give such a haphazard, uh, you know, different ranges? Because see, ages, children's ages, if you ever notice it like that, see, so like first grade, second grade, and third grade, they are usually treated as primary. Then fourth grade and fifth grade, or sometimes fourth, fifth, sixth, they are treated as one age group. So they have made this according to the age group. So from 10 to 15, that is known as the tweens or the early teens. Then 15 to 17 is your 10th to 12th graders. So that is why age groups have to be, they are sometimes they have different number of ages in them. So that is why your ranges are very different over here. So the frequency is given. Now let's see how to make the histogram. So mm, just a minute. Yeah. So now what we need to do is We need to make a bigger table. I'm going to write the entire data over here. So age in years. You also have to write this. When the range is different, you have to write the table, okay? And leave some space. We are going to write a lot of things here. Number of children, which is frequency. I'm going to make it smaller. Frequency. Then we have class width, which is the range that we talked about, class width. And the length of the rectangle. What rectangle? The rectangle that we draw in the graph, this rectangle. Okay. So length of rectangle. So make these columns like so. Okay. So what happens in histogram is the area of the rectangle, and this is what I told you, and when we were starting this concept of histogram, that in bar graph it has to be the same, right? The width has to be the same, but in histogram the width can be the same or it can be different. That depends on the class width or the class interval size, which is also known as the class size, or it is also called the range. So it depends on that. So the class width, if it is more, then accordingly this rectangle size will change. So the in histogram, the concept of histogram is that, please write it down somewhere, that the proportion, the area of rectangle in a histogram is proportional to the frequency. What does this mean? You will understand when we do this question. Okay. So the first one, let's write all the ages like this. So we have 1 to 2. Okay. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 5, and hurry up please because we are running short of time. 7 to 10, 10 to 15, and 15 to 17. Okay. Frequency is already given in the textbook. 5, 3, 6. Wait a minute. 5, 3. 9, 12, 4. Ah, okay. 5, 3, 6, 12, 9, 10, 4. Okay. So now in the first case, what is the class width? The class width is 1. Yeah. And we have discussed what is the class width. Class width is nothing but upper limit minus lower limit. This is the upper limit. This is the lower limit. So the first one it is 1. The second one again it is 1. Third one it is 2. Second one again it is 2. This one is 3. This one is 5. This one is 2. Now the length of the rectangle, it should be, let me write the formula over here. Okay. Length of rectangle is equal to frequency by what is this? Yeah, frequency by class width just a minute. Okay. Okay, frequency by class width into the minimum class width. Okay, into the minimum class width. Just a minute. Let me rearrange this into minimum class width. Okay. So this is the formula. So frequency of the first one. Frequency is what? 5. First of all, you have to identify over here what is the minimum class width. In this case, the minimum class width is 1. Yes, because everything else is more than that. 1 is the minimum. So frequency is 5 divided by class width, in this case is 1, multiplied by the minimum class width, which is the minimum class width, which is 1. Okay. So this is equal to 5. Okay. So now similarly, this will be 3 by class width for this particular one is 1 into the minimum class width, which is 1, is equal to what? Again 3. Then frequency is 6 divided by class width is 1 into the minimum class width is 1. So everywhere it is 1, so I'm not again and again, I won't write 1. Okay. So I will write it, no problem. For this question, I'll write it. So this is again 6. Sorry, this is not 1. This is 2 over here. The class width for this case, it is 2. For this case, the class width is 2, right? So we will write 2. So this is equal to 3. Then this one is going to be 12 by 2 into minimum class width, which is 1. So that is going to be the same, which is equal to 6. Then we have 9 by 3 into 1, which is equal to 3. Then we have 10 by 5 into 1. If any of you is not understanding anything, please ask, which is equal to 2. Then we have 4 by 2 into 1, which is equal to 2 again. Okay. So there we have the length of the rectangle. Now what are we going to do with this length of rectangle? Now we shall make our graph again. Okay. Mm, we have to make it a little bigger. So I'm going to choose a smaller. Yeah. So on the left hand, on the the x axis, we have to put the age group in years. Age group, or we can write age in bracket, you can write years. And in the y axis, you will write proportion of children per 1 year interval. You have to write it like this: proportion of children, proportion of children per 1 year interval. Acha, why do we need to write it like this? Because whatever this red thing which we have written now, the minimum class width that we need to write over here. The minimum class width, the minimum class width that we need to write over here per 1 year interval, because it is the minimum class width. Okay. If your minimum class width was something else, then you would have written it like that accordingly. So now you start writing it from 1, 2, 3, and so on. Proportion of children. So you write it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and here we write y-axis, here is the x-axis. Now let's quickly get this done. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. Now, the first one, for age group 1 to 2, the length of the rectangle is 5. So you have to take it all the way till 5. Okay. Can you see the length of the rectangle is 5? So you have to take this all the way till 5. So from 1 to 2, it is 5. Then similarly from 2 to 3 also it is, no, it is 3. From 2 to 3, it is 3. So we have to take it till 3. From 2 to 3. So from here to here, 3. Now the next one. The next one is from 3 to 5. The range is 3 to 5. And the length of rectangle is 3. So from 3 to 5, it is 3. So all the way till here. From 5 to 7, it is 6. So now the rectangle is becoming more, you can say, the width of the rectangle is varying. Okay. Then from 7 to 10, it is 3. 7 to 10, it is 3. Then from 10 to 15, it is 2. 10 to 15, it is 2. 15 to 17, it is 2 again. So this is the histogram that we will be making, that we have to make in such kind of question where the data is given in a different, the class size is varying, the class size is different. Then we have to first find the length of the rectangle. And what is the formula for that? The formula is frequency divided by the class width multiplied by the minimum class width. Okay. So that is going to be our histogram, and that's it for today's class.